Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California. From trivia nights to title fights, your voice of choice, the stunningly stupendous student of stupidity, Ozzy V. Also with me on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
I'm great. How about yourself, Ozzy?
I'm okay.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm okay. We'll get to that shortly. We will get to that shortly. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Flesh Room producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
I am chilling.
Chilling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week we do have the due diligence of reviewing and discussing the film Penn and Teller Get Killed, released in 1989. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, I do.
Alakazam! Watch closely. 5. Alakazoo. Yeah. Now you see it? 4. No, you don't. 3. Presto. Magic is fake. 2. Voila! Do what you want to the girl, but leave me alone.
I don't think I've ever seen this trailer.
Euro trash and sunglasses. We shall overcome. Let's gut his stomach first. You originally from the Philippines?
I had no idea how to market that movie at all. Like, at all. Wow, that's probably one of the worst trailers I've ever seen.
It's funny you say that. That was the trailer for Penn and Teller Get Killed, released on September 22nd, 1989, with a runtime of 89 minutes. Rated R, written by Penn Jillette and Teller, directed by Arthur Penn, starring Penn Jillette and Teller and Caitlin Clark. Whew. Initial thoughts with this. This was the first time I didn't even know this movie existed until Todd suggested it. And I'm not really too familiar with Penn and Teller, actually, only that they're comedy magicians. And
No, well, that's okay.
I mean, like, well, they're magicians, but they're comedic in their presentation.
It's not that simple. They expose magic.
They're really nuanced. I'm sorry.
No, it's. Do you want me to explain the history of Penn and Teller? But no,
Not necessarily. The movie gave me much more than I wanted. Those are my initial thoughts. Who else would like to go next?
yeah, this was one that wasn't on my radar. I love Penn and Teller, first and foremost. And Penn even has a book that I started reading while was on the cruise ship with you guys, and he has got a very interesting mind, and I am surprised. Ozzy, did you ever watch Penn's series BS?
I didn't.
I think you'd appreciate it. I think it's.
Yeah,
I think you'd really appreciate it.
I think that might make him a fan if he watched that. Actually,
Yeah. But so brilliant series. So I was excited to see what this movie was about because I'd never heard of it, and it had some choices. And it was I do feel the awkwardness that they like to have in their show, especially their early years, is what this was. So I understood what it was trying to do. But it definitely, for me, did feel a lot like like when you're trying to make film in high school. So,
There's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that just happens. Like it is a
Yeah.
lot of like just a bunch of bits put together.
right.
I couldn't find my VHS because otherwise I would be showing it to you, but I did find here's an artifact. This is a VCD. This was in between DVDs and Blu-ray or VHS and DVDs. So this is the movie on 2 CDs, video CDs, part 1 and part 2, kind of like a laser disc.
Wow.
So
That's
I also had it
impressive.
I also had it on Laserdisc, but I don't anymore. When I upgraded to VC, I got rid of the Laserdisc. I still regret that. It is also on VOD from Warner Archive. This is one I was huge Penn and Teller fan. Penn and Teller's Cruel Tricks for Dear Friends was a tape I wore out because you could use the tape and do magic with it. Like not necessarily magic, but like one of the gimmicks was like it was TV copy. So you played the tape and you just memorized what to do and push buttons, put things on the screen. It was a whole like routine that you did with the tape. And I used to love to fuck with people with that. God damn it. Now I got a sense. I used to love to mess with people with that. And just that. And then their specials, watch them on David Letterman. So like a lot of the routines, like I've seen before and stuff, but this is really just like a sampling of like their stuff. Like the whole psychic surgery thing, like that, I'm sure that was familiar because Penn loves to like, put things on blast and like expose things. So they used the movie to do that, but I enjoy this movie because I love Penn and Teller and it is just very them. It's awkward. It still gets called ahead of its time. Like I love the ending. But I'm curious about that. Did that joke go on and on for you? Like I think there is a lot that like they could pull out, like even at 88 minutes, like the story like there's a lot of stuff like routines and filler in there, but yeah.
I think for me, when we get to the ending, since the movie is filled with moments of like almost like the audience is being tricked themselves.
Yeah.
So because I'm trying not to give anything away, but because that final scene wasn't really graphic, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So it made me think that, oh, they're just fooling people. It's another trick because there's no blood. And then the scene continued as if like Teller was hanging upside down, and he shoots himself and it's like there's nothing. That's what made me think, oh, this is just a gag. And then it turned out not to be. And like I get what the title of the movie is. Like I get all that. But if you're gonna spend 80 minutes, doing things and then saying, oh no, that was a trick, then doing something else and say, oh no, that was a trick. And then you get here and no, there's no trick here, but it's consistent with other tricks. Like here's where it should be a trick because and I guess that I already didn't really have a whole lot of moments that made me laugh out loud. I mean, I was entertained to the point of like still following and wanting to see what was going to happen. I was entertained by the characters, but they weren't making me laugh out loud.
But like to go with that ending, it is kind of in a way a callback to that first like stage trick they do with the drill and everything, where the audience, which is us as the viewer, are left with like, okay, he's dead. There's no resolution for the audience, which is kind of the same thing they do at the end of the film.
I guess so, but with the audience at the beginning of the film, they're watching a magic trick.
Right.
Here, it's portrayed as this is actually happening.
Yeah.
And there is no trick there. It feels like, because 2 other people took their own lives as a result of this.
Right.
So it seemed off. And for me, it seemed off. I'm not saying this, it was bad or anything, because I'm not too familiar with Penn and Teller's comedy. And if that's, their style and that's what you like, you're going to love it. But it just, it hit me a little weird.
I was curious because like even at the time of release, this was not universally loved. The Warner Brothers had no idea what to do with it. Obvious from the trailer. It kind of got a small release. Like I wasn't able to see it till home video. I wasn't able to go see it in theaters. I'm sure there's a theater or two in LA, but back then I wasn't getting anyone to take me to see a Penn and Teller movie. Yeah, I was curious because I didn't know you had like you don't really know of like other than knowing their name, you don't really know a lot about them. I knew Greg obviously did because he was reading the book. So yeah. Like I'm not going to defend it. It's not perfect by any means. So
let's get into our favorite moments then. Now, I kind of felt like I cheated. I mean, this was a line from the trailer that you heard in the trailer where he says, "Do what you want with the girl, but leave me alone." I think I wrote that down specifically because it's the Carlin line from the list of things you don't hear.
right.
Mhm.
And just the callback to that made me appreciate it. But like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of movie. You know what? Can I take a freaking sidebar here? I hope to everything holy that somebody from Tile is watching this right now because I want you to know that I hate your product. Like, I hate that sound. I hate that it happens when I never asked for it. I hate it. And you say, Ozzy, just take whatever it says, take it out of your wallet. What if I told you my wallet's just sitting on the shelf? I'm not even sitting on it right now. And for some reason, oh my God, just shut up. No, shut up. I hate Tile. I hate it. I swear, I didn't even touch the phone. I turned the volume all the way off, and it's still going off. What the? Oh, God. Are you
This
kidding
is what
me right
happens
now?
when you bash Penn and Teller. They possess your phone.
You know what? It is odd that this is happening on this episode. Hopefully, if they got a hold of this and saw this was happening, they would laugh their asses off. But seriously, knock it off. I'm
Have you seen them? Have you seen them live, Greg?
turning off my phone.
I've not, but I really
Turning-
want to.
Done.
I've
I
seen
swear,
them.
if it comes on now, forget it. Maybe it was that ghost that was back here, Todd.
Maybe.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Before we were rudely interrupted.
I know. Then I was asking Greg if he'd seen Penn and Teller. I've seen him a couple times. My first time, I probably have the most 90s article ever because of it. The very first year Universal did Halloween Horror Nights. I think it was 93 because then they like had a couple years they didn't do it. Then it became annually. So it was right before it became an annual event. They did it one year, then they stopped, and then they brought it back. But Penn and Teller performed there in one of the theaters. That's where they house Star Trek, actually, the Star Trek show. And after it, I was wearing my Naughty by Nature OPP hat. So somewhere in my house, I have a Naughty by Nature hat signed by Penn and Teller with blood on it from the show.
So you're convinced that it was in the early 90s that Universal had this Halloween event?
Yeah, well, I was wearing an OPP hat, which came out in 92, 91.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was October 92.
Okay.
But and then my last time was the Vegas. They've had their residency there forever.
Right. Well, I just remember going to Universal in 98 and then it not coming back after that for a few years.
No, they only had one gap. Are you sure?
I swear it was 98 because I went, God rest his soul, I went with my buddy Brian from high school and his uncle got hammered. He got so drunk.
Are you sure that's not the year they just got rid of alcohol? Because they did get, and it would have been right around that time because I remember they got rid of alcohol and I thought I might have been in the problem too.
I had remembered asking. I remember I had a good time that night,
Right.
and I'd asked my buddy Brian, hey, are they doing Universal again? He said, no, they're not. It scared people too much.
I think he was just messing because they definitely had it. Like it was early 90s when they did it the 1 year.
When they had the gap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maybe he just didn't want you to go with it.
Maybe he was talking about their initial. Well, no, he didn't end up going. We ended up going to Knott's instead. But maybe he was talking about the initial gap scared people too much, I guess.
Well, they got rid of because the first year they did the Terror Tram. They still have a Terror Tram there, but they did a Terror Tram where they actually like did stuff with it. Like guys would run up and hit it with chainsaws, and like it was interactive. Now they just drive you to a different part of the thing and play stuff on the screens. They did it 1 year. Someone got injured, ran over something, so they got rid of. That's why they didn't do it the next year, and then they got rid of the Terror Tram. They finally brought the name back years later, though, and now it's not what it was. What it was awesome. So you were like literally driving in the back lot, and like stuff was happening.
Gotcha. Apologies for the
total side rant
discussion on the Universal Halloween Horror Nights.
But I think we left off. We left
on
off
the Penn and Teller Halloween show. You
By the
got
way,
their autograph.
I think
on
it
an
says
OPP
that
ad.
1997 was the first year in Hollywood.
the
for Horror
first
Nights.
year.
That's what it says on. Well, this is Wikipedia, so
See, I thought it was 94. See, now I got to double. No, it couldn't have been 97. I would not have been wearing an OPP hat in 97. Well, we'll figure this out.
Maybe it's in 2026 when you realize how big of a dork you were.
No. You were a dork if you weren't wearing a Naughty by Nature OPP hat.
I just thought it'd be a funny line to say.
But you're wrong. All right, Greg, what was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment. There were a couple that were pretty funny. I think I love the moment of when Teller gets robbed and he says, "Don't make a sound." It's Teller. So
Oh yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
So like, oh, that's clever. That made me chuckle a bit.
I love the airport security bit
Oh yeah, that was solid.
with the yeah.
That
'Cause
really set the mood.
I love to do that to Ozzy just for the reaction. So he'll forget, so we can still do it. So that's what's awesome. Even telling him that's what we're gonna do.
Then Robert Stack comes in and does a full body cavity search to bring up the Beavis and Butthead reference.
Ozzy, you can research after we're off the air. I know what you're doing, and you're totally distracted.
It's total ADD. It is. I ran out of my Ritalin, so sorry.
It's all right.
Where were we?
We just did favorite moments.
Oh yeah. So we're done with the favorite moments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of critiques, for me, it is the ending.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
like,
Is there a specific spot?
A specific spot, in
Or
the
is it
ending?
just in general the ending?
I guess in general, just because it seemed to end on such a down note. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
all this was just everybody punking each other, and then it's all fun until somebody gets hurt. You know, like it just kind of was. You know, you watch movies to escape, right? To laugh at stuff. This seemed like a kind of like a real moment that I wasn't expecting, I guess, and with that, it just hit me the wrong way.
Yeah. So I was asking because the part that really kind of got me was part of the ending. Overall, the ending I'm okay with. But you've got two cops that come up to check in on everything because they heard about the shots fired. But like the girl jumped out the window. There should have been a dead body on the floor that they would have walked past.
But it
But
disappeared.
it seems like nothing.
It disappeared.
And then
Magic.
on top of that, you see the window at the end as they're like pulling away, and the window's fine. So just like
Maybe she never really jumped out the window.
She just did that little dance and jump.
Yeah.
I don't
Chad?
really have a specific critique. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know it's not perfect. There's not one thing I can point out, but maybe a little bit more focused on the story. But it is very much Penn and Teller of the late '80s versus what they morphed into,
Right.
And so, I mean, yeah.
By the way, I guess another critique I can throw in there just on a personal level is Penn did no juggling, which he is a great juggler.
This is true. You know, I will say, as a youngster, it was shocking to hear. Spoiler, I know, slight. Hear Teller speak.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm used to it now, but it's still just like when he does. It's weird. But I do have a definitive answer on the Halloween Horror Nights.
Okay.
1992 is the year I'm referring to, that first year that I went there, and it was open. And if you Google Halloween Horror Nights 1993, no event. So it officially kicks off 94. And Florida starts in 91. And Florida has no gaps. They went one. I mean, they both have their COVID year, but I mean, other than that.
Yeah, so this kind of backs both our stories, because you have the 92 and then it says it went from 97 to 2000 and then went on another hiatus and returned in 2006.
Called something different, possibly? In the early years?
I remember it being called Halloween Horror Nights.
Got it.
There was one year it was called something different, but that was only on the East Coast, I believe.
Well, anyhow, let's get to the ratings of this one here. Who wants to go first?
Oh, Todd, this is your movie.
I'm realistic. While I do enjoy it, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it, and I've owned it on every format you can own it on, except beta. I think there was a beta. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
That's fair. I mean, I was kind of floating on this one a little bit because I did have a good time, you know. So if we're just going on fun factor, and I love the awkwardness that they bring in their style. Yeah, I wouldn't quite go up a 3.5 because I did feel no, it did kind of get me even the second or third time. It ended up being a trick. Yeah, I'll go 3.5. I think yeah, it was a fun flick. I'd watch it again. Just not for a while.
So this is
I get it. It's not my regular rotation.
This is one that I will not be watching again ever for the rest of my life.
Well, I hope it won't turn you off to future Penn and Teller content, because of their catalog, I do think this is their weakest.
Well, this is like a cinematic entry, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, or do they have more things like this?
Well,
or the rest of their like specials.
Yeah, a lot of specials, but like, and then their 2 TV shows. Penn did make a second film called Director's Cut. It's actually a horror film, totally different, but that's a much better film than this. But I don't think Ozzy's gonna enjoy.
So in terms of not being familiar with the individuals and trying to discover there and then whether or not I enjoyed them or not, it would be a 2 for me. However, if you are fans of the individuals, I can imagine it hitting closer to a 3 or a 3.5.
Yeah. I consider myself a huge fan, and I'm still only a 3.5. So there you go.
So personally, I'm not saying it was horrible. Like, I can see how.
Oh no, they know when you think it's horrible, Ozzy. You can't hide it.
Yeah, I get in pretty bad.
I can just say private school and.
Yeah, just shut up. Shut up.
My point is proven.
The only thing you need to tell me is that the child of the director of private school created a company called Tile. That's the only thing you can say that pissed me off anymore. Anyway, God, stupid private school.
By the way, the Penn and Teller BS is on Showtime. So
yeah, it's on the Paramount. I know it's on the Paramount Plus app.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, this film, if you're trying to catch it, it is not available to stream. You can only rent it or purchase
Get a
wherever
VCD.
you consume your favorite digital content, or maybe you can luck out like Todd and find a VCD.
Yeah. Yeah, they it's only available like in standard definition. They haven't even done an HD master. Warner Brothers didn't even press the disc. It was part of the archive DVD-R collection. So, yeah, they haven't pressed it legitimately in the US since the Laserdisc and tape.
All righty.
Wow.
So, would you gentlemen have anything else before we head off this evening?
No, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude our review of Penn and Teller Get Killed. If you do happen to be in the Orange County area this week, I'll be hosting trivia this Tuesday at the Rush Bar and Grill in Lake Forest, beginning at 7 o'clock. Also this Wednesday at the Brewery in Placentia, also at 7 o'clock. Both nights are free to play and prizes for the top winning teams. And of course, with me, we do delve into that trivia multiverse where every song has something to do with the answer. And ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude our episode for this evening. For world-famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next time right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.